Welcome to the Trading Sliders Podcast. Here we go, episode number 65 of the Trading Sliders Podcast. How's everybody doing out there? I'm Bobby Puckett. Here with me in studio is Kurt the Flash Bennett. What's going on, Flash?
Not much, Bobby. What you been up to?
Well, we had Christmas. First of 3 Christmases.
Right.
So before we get started, this is Christmas week. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great time with your family.
Yeah.
Because this time of year, it could go 50-50.
Yeah.
You can hang out with assholes you don't like, or it's actually, you get to meet cousins that you haven't seen in a while.
I gotta go over there.
Yeah. Why do I gotta go over there again? Yeah. We just seen them at Thanksgiving.
Luckily, I don't have that problem. But
Yeah, no,
so, I know some people do.
No, everything's good on my end. Hell, we had a birthday dinner this week. We had Christmas. If I told you about the birthday dinner, Flash, we would be kicked off the air.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was not PG-13, not no fight stuff.
Right.
But if I told you about the birthday dinner on air, I'd tell you off air about the birthday dinner.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: the Sports Drome came out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we had birthday dinners. We had a first Christmas, working on race cars, all that good stuff. This week's guest is Buffalo, Illinois' Jeff Leka. 2-time national champion, over 350 wins, winner of the Big Dog 100, was the 1999 Winston Racing Series champion, the national champion, the very last Winston Racing Series champion before NASCAR shut it all down.
Yeah.
2008 UMP Modified national champion, and currently he's hanging out with Bobby Pierce every week, semi-crew chief / do whatever work we need to do type guy.
Right.
Caught up with Jeff back at Gateway. It was a fun interview. We sat down and bullshit about racing, how it used to be versus where it is now. But before we get started, we say this every week. Please take care of the people that take care of us. And our show this week being brought to you by Diesel Boys LLC. If you need any diesel truck work done, injectors, fuel pumps, just not only that, they do like wheel bearings, any type of automotive truck for big trucks, small trucks. Reach out to Diesel Boys LLC. Our deep dive is being brought to you by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. If you need any type of clutch work done for any type of vehicle, if that's farm tractors, semi trucks, road graders, I even did some brake shoes last week, Flash.
Oh yeah.
if you bring it in and it's got clutch material on it, we can figure it out.
You can put it on there.
Yeah. So reach out to the guys at Kentucky Clutch and Performance. Our slider of the week being brought to you by Speed Decals. Walt at Speed Decals does any type of vinyl work that you need. He does yard signs, complete vehicle wraps, specialized in lettering race cars. Been lettering race cars for over 40 years. Yeah. So if you need any type of work done, vinyl related, reach out to Walt at Speed Decals. Our crash of the week being brought to you by D.O. Handyman and Remodeling. If you need any type remodeling / renovation / hey, maybe we need to fix this because it's been sitting here, reach out to David. He can get you taken care of at 812-989-5002. And our racetrack spotlight being brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering. Big shout out to JT's Trackside Catering. He came through and helped us out this week with our Christmas party #1. So, as I always say, take care of the people, take care of us. If you got any type catering event, none too big or none too small, reach out to Jeremy and Ashley and they'll get you taken care of. I know Jeremy does most of the foods and she does most of the desserts, but the banana cookies are amazing.
I just had one of those.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
Yeah, the banana cookies are amazing. Who would have thought banana pudding and cookies together? But it works. Yeah. It's really good. And the smoked wings were incredible. So if you need anything catering and done, reach out to Jeremy Thomas. Our question of the week. I guess we're going to call this the Bandit Race Cars question of the week.
Right.
Because fan question of the week by Bandit Race Cars is long as hell. Yeah. So our Bandit Race Cars question of the week is brought to you by Bandit Race Cars. And if you need any work done on a race car chassis, he will take care of you. It doesn't have to be a Bandit, okay? He will work on it. He will fix it. But most importantly, he'll
make you fast.
Yeah. But most importantly, though, he is a dealer for Fox Shocks, an in-house builder, and he can build shocks. If you call him on a Tuesday, you will have it by Friday to go race type deal. Yeah. So reach out to Brian Barber and Bandit Race Cars. Got them all, I think.
Yeah.
So that list is... And starting next week, that list is going to get just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, the read will just keep on going.
That'd
So,
be all right.
News of the week. We know this time of year, you're traveling, you're on the road, so please share this, get it out there so people, and go back. And if you got long drives, go back and check out some previous episodes. You don't have to listen. This is something I need to start doing.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to the race results and stuff.
Right.
But go back and check out the interviews, because we have some really, really good interviews with some really fascinating people.
Yeah.
And we got a year-end review show coming up where this show, we're doing our top 5 racetracks we've been to.
Right.
We're going to do our top 5 interview locations.
Yeah.
We got all kinds of stuff coming up.
Yeah,
but,
we've had quite a few pretty cool ones over the year.
yeah, it's crazy, really.
Yeah.
Now, this is 65 consecutive weeks, Flash.
Yeah.
65 weeks in a row, we figured out how to talk about something that we love, and people still listen.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to think itself.
Yeah, that's the fun part about it is we have people actually listening to the sport that we all love.
And
there's always something happening. There's no off season anymore, so we can always find something to talk about.
No, that's like this weekend coming up. I was looking, I was like, man, there's not a whole lot of races, and most of it's go-kart stuff. And then I scrolled down, I'm like, shit, high limits at Perth 3 nights in a row.
Yep.
So, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah. It might be on the other side of the world, but it's racing.
But you can still watch it, i.e., thank you, streaming.
Yeah.
Race results this weekend. DeCoin had the Powri, the Junior Knipper 55. Turned out to be a pretty good race. The Santa Shootout at Talladega Short Track had a big car count for a little brisk day. They were definitely preparing for the Ice Bowl.
Yeah.
From the videos that I've seen. And the Rumble in Fort Wayne took place. We're going to get to the fan question of the week. As I mentioned, the Dirt on Dirt did their top 25 from each state. We're going to go over the top 5 in each state and talk about that.
Yeah.
For dirt late models in the last 25 years. And then the Trade and Slaughters podcast are doing our top 5 racetracks that we've been to. Put a caveat to this. There's 2 on my list I put asterisks next to because they're no longer here, so I don't really count that. That's,
right.
We're just going to throw them in what ifs. But also, Flash, you got any extra time on your hand? Because there's crew help needed all over the dirt racing world.
I've seen that this week.
Yeah,
everybody's been posting.
So we're going to get into that. So all that and much, much more.
These young kids coming up, it'd be good to. If he was planning on even racing maybe 5 years from now, it'd be nice to get in there right now to learn some stuff.
Well, when we get into that, that's kind of the take I was going to take. But we're going to start off on a somber note. Thoughts and prayers to Greg Biffle and all 3 families that are involved in that terrible plane crash that happened in North Carolina. Mark Martin put something out and said that, traveling via airplane is probably the safest traveling there is. But it's awful sad how much of the NASCAR community has taken.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, I never really thought of it like that because, there's hundreds of thousands of flights every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just sucks that this happened. It sucks for everybody involved, but it also sucks when, there's 3 kids on the plane who, didn't even get a chance to, realize how cool life can be. So that's just a bad deal.
Yep.
We're going to get started off with crew help. Flash, so if there's any kids out there that A, want to race, or B, thinks it's a great idea to, the career path they want to take.
Right.
I'm just going to give you a few names of people that you can learn from right now that's seeking crew help. Kyle Bronson is needing a full-time help for the World of Outlaw Late Model Tour. Logan Schuchart is needing a full-time help for the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Tour. Anthony Macri raced 119 nights last year. That's why he's looking for help.
Yeah.
But he's needing help.
He done wore his help out.
Yeah, he done wore his help out. But Anthony Macri is looking for help for the sprint car size. Corey Hitchcock is looking for help for full-time next year. Dan Ebert is looking for help for the full-time Lucas Oil Series. And Nick Hoffman is looking help for a full-time World of Outlaw deal.
Yeah.
So, guys, first...
If you want to see how it is to be on the road, for one thing.
Yeah, if you say, man, I really want to do this, there's some great opportunity to get out on the road and learn. But I think where the problem comes is, like, a lot of people don't realize how hard this is.
No, they think you just, you show up to a racetrack and it's all cool.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not like that every time.
Yeah, it's glitz and glamour. Everything's great. Yeah. Now, I haven't raced at these guys' statue, national tour.
Right.
But I have raced 100 nights a year, and honestly, I don't know how I did it. Right. To be honest, I really don't. Because I had a full-time job as well. I don't know how I did that. Well, I say that. I didn't quite get 100. It was like 98.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, we had some rainouts. Yeah. We had some rainouts. But it is a ton of work, a ton of sacrifices being made, and more races just keep getting scheduled. So I don't know how these guys are all ever going to find help. Because I seen something Jason Fager said that they pay their help as much as they can, but everything else costs so much that you can't pay them what they're actually worth. You can't pay them for the amount of hours that they work.
Yeah, if you do this job, you got to be doing it for experience. I mean,
it's something you just got to love.
Something you have to do and see if you're going to like it, and before you spend a ton of money going and trying it yourself.
Yeah, it's but it's crazy how many guys on that, and that's not even including guys that run the local level and stuff. Everybody's needing help.
Yeah.
But these are paying gigs.
Yeah.
Like, these are guys that are like, hey, we're gonna cut you a check.
We ran 3 cars for a couple of years and ran 2 nights a week with a couple of them, and just week to week at your 2 local racetracks was crazy trying to keep up with. So it's hard to imagine being on the road and having to get parts in and everything, because it's not like you're going back to the shop every week.
Well, no, and especially the toughest, in my opinion, is the World of Outlaw Sprint Car schedule.
Yeah.
It's the longest schedule. It starts in January, ends in November. I know that there's, late model schedules that run longer, but, those guys are running 80 nights a year. And they go to the West Coast, they go to the Dakotas, they go to the far East Coast, they go to Canada. I mean, their travel is extensive because back at Gateway, I was talking to Tanner Mullins, and Tanner Mullins says, he lives in Hutchinson, Kansas. Yeah. He lives in Kansas.
Right.
I screwed that word up. So he runs the USMTS tour, and last year on the road, 39,000 miles is what he drove. 40,000 miles basically, just running the USMTS tour. That's not counting. He picked up another 20 races throughout the year.
Right.
And they stay pretty condensed in their area. I mean, I know they travel quite a bit. They go up to the Dakotas and down Texas and New Mexico, but still, I mean, 40,000 miles is what they would call the lower level tier of travel and racing.
Yeah.
I hate to even fathom what the World of Outlaw guys do. I mean, it's just nuts.
I know who we could ask.
Yeah. That's... Well, I can probably find out about that.
We might have to call him and ask.
Yeah, I might be able to find out how many miles they go.
Yeah, because he would probably know.
Yeah. So moving on next. Dirt on Dirt did their top 25 dirt late model racers of the century. And... did top 25 in each state. And all right, Flash, I know it's for the last 25 years, okay?
Well, yeah, when you was telling me about this earlier, you told me 25 years, and I just forgot how old I was.
Yeah, you thought 25 years was like 71.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
yeah,
25 years is just back to 2000. So
yeah, exactly. So that's
we need to pound this in people's head because they're going to go crazy when they hear that.
Yes, yeah, that's for people, especially in our age. Yeah. People our age that went to the races are going to look at this list and beat your head off the table. But you got to think, it was just the last 25 years. So
time flies.
Yeah, it definitely does that.
Yep.
We're gonna start off with Indiana. Number 1 in Indiana, in the state of Indiana, brought to you by Dirt on Dirt, was Steve Casefalt out of Richmond, Indiana. Number 2 was Scott James out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I think I'm gonna get everybody's hometown.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Mike Jewell out of Scottsburg, Indiana. And number 4 and number 5 out of Martinsville, Indiana. Don O'Neill comes in number 4. Hudson O'Neill comes in number 5. So that's the last 25 years, Flash.
Yeah.
Is there any names that you think's missing in the first 5?
Man, 25 years, I don't know. It's probably fairly close, other than in Indiana. Let's see.
Yeah, in Indiana, the last 25 years. Because I'm thinking Steve Barnett got hosed there.
Yeah, because when I first started racing, Barnett was still running quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think I went to dirt till right around 2000. Well, I mean, I did earlier. I did get a modified and ran dirt for a couple of years, and then I went back to asphalt, and then I went back to dirt. But in 2000, I'm like you. I think Barnett.
Yeah, there's about 5 Northern All-Star Championships in a row.
Right.
That was won by Steve Barnett.
Yeah.
But
there for a while, anywhere Steve went, he was winning.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think Steve Barnett should have been in the top 5. Who do you take out? I don't really know, because that 5's pretty solid. But I do think number 1 should have been Don O'Neill.
Yeah.
In my eyes, should have been Don O'Neill. But when we think 25 years, like we were saying, a lot of O'Neill stuff was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But in 2000, he was still, I mean, hell, he went out on the national tour, won the Dixie Shootout.
Yep.
I mean, there was plenty of major stuff that was won. But, so yeah, that was Indiana's, top 5 of their top 25. I don't have a problem with the guys in the top 5, but I really think Steve Barnett should have been up a little bit.
Yeah, he should have been in there somewhere, probably.
But the thing is, though, too, I mean, I think Barnett stopped in 2012, so he only got half of his stuff was considered.
Right.
Thinking about that, hell, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but I don't think Huddy started till later either.
Yeah, but he won the Lucas Oil Championship too, though.
He did kind of do that.
Yeah, so,
that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Which takes me to Kentucky. Okay, when we get to Kentucky here, this is where I got a problem with, and I know people are going to shit on me when I say this, but I do have a problem with Kentucky's. First, we're going to start off with Jackie Boggs. That's number 1 in the state of Kentucky, out of Grayson, Kentucky. Tanner English, number 2, out of Benton, Kentucky. Buddy lives in Benton, Illinois now.
Yeah.
For everybody that was throwing a bitch fit about the press release, saying there's a typo.
Yeah.
No, he lives right there by his father-in-law, Rodney Melvin, which is across the bridge in Illinois. And then Ashland, Kentucky, Steve Francis is 3rd. Florence, Kentucky's Darrell Lanigan is 4th. And Verona, Kentucky's Josh Rice is 5th. How in the world? Now, I love Jackie Boggs.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Jack Boggs. I'm like, honestly, Jackie Boggs got a kind of a, an asshole persona.
Yeah.
Everybody thought he was an asshole. I pitted next to him probably 10 or 15 times. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met at the racetrack.
Yeah.
But Darrell Lanigan is a World of Outlaw late model champion. Darrell Lanigan should be number 1 from the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
He should be number 1. And then Boggs can be 2, English can be 3, Rice can be 4, or Francis can be 4th, and Rice should be 5th. But if you win a national tour and you did it consistently over the years, because in like 10 years, Huddy's going to be number 1 in Indiana.
Yeah.
Because he won a national tour.
Right.
But that was Dirt on Dirt's top 5 from each state. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own opinion.
Yes, but it is the last 25 years.
Yeah.
But I do want to say congratulations to Jeff Watson coming in 25th on the list.
Yeah.
Dirt on Dirt's top 25. Jeff Watson. So
that's good. Anyway, at least he finally got some recognition.
Yeah, well, I think they may have listened to us.
Yeah,
over the last few years.
Yeah,
so
somebody might have anyway.
Yeah, somebody's like, damn, they're raising enough stink that he might be pretty good.
It'd be cool to see him get a ride.
Yeah, it would.
He might be over by now.
Yeah,
I think he has fun doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't think he really cares anymore.
No,
he's just going to race.
He's going to go race no matter what.
All right, Flash.
Broken arm, whatever.
Yeah, it don't matter.
He don't care.
We'll tape it up. All right, Flash.
Yep.
Now, our newly Bandit Race Cars fan question of the week. We got 2 of them again this week. We're going to do 2 a week since we're technically in the off season. Then once we get on the road every weekend, we're probably just going to do 1 a week. But right now we're going to do 2 a week. And getting some great reviews, and maybe got some feelings hurt on a couple things. So, but that's just part of it. I got news for you.
These are just our opinions. So.
Well, I was told a long time ago, if somebody hurts your feelings, it's because they said something truthful.
Yeah.
So I was just told that. I don't know, but
that's possible.
That's very possible. So fan questions of the week, and you guys, you can send these through Spotify comments. You can send this through Facebook Messenger. You can just comment on one of the episodes when we post a link or whatever.
Yeah.
But reach out to us. You can even send me an email if you want. foodballracecars20@gmail.com. And if you want to send it that way, however you want to do it, send us the questions. We've got, and if you decide you don't want to, hell, we got a stock of 1,000 of them still.
Yeah.
But yeah, send us some questions, and because sometimes we like tying it into the show. And this is one right here. Sam out of Milton, Kentucky. He sent this via the Trade and Sliders Facebook page, direct message. Do you guys think local racing is being hurt by all the national tours being televised on TV? And if not, why is local racing down?
I think a lot of local racing being down is kids don't go to the race, don't want to go no more. That's just the way I feel about it, because you don't see when we was kids, man. It didn't matter what racetrack you went to, it was full of kids everywhere. I think they have so much other stuff to preoccupy them now that I don't know. I mean, and it is expensive to go to the racetrack.
Well, I think the kids.
But it's expensive to do anything now. So.
Yeah. Well, I think the kids. The problem with the kids is, this is where streaming comes in. This is where I don't think streaming's hurting. I think streaming's actually helping, because everything's on social media, TikTok, YouTube. Kids spend their whole day on their phones. So when they run across these clips, they're intrigued, like, hey, I want to go see this.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and my opinion is, with local racing is, we don't have any local stars no more because there's no main local division.
Right. Yeah.
Like, racetracks don't run late models weekly in Kentucky anymore, which they run crate late models, which is fine.
Yeah.
But there's no bigger than life heroes anymore.
Yeah.
For the kids that do go, they're just there. One thing that I think Indiana does a really good job at is non-wing sprint car racing. The racing speaks for itself with the danger factor, the cars going sideways, but the guys like Pat Sullivan, he lets you know when these cars pull on the racetrack. These are the best drivers in America.
Yeah.
Like, they sell their sport better than anything else. We travel on the road a lot. We're in Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama so often. And for race fans like Flash and I, we love late model racing. So we don't care if there's 4 or 5 late model divisions.
Right, yeah.
But if somebody come into the racetrack that's new, all the cars look the same, they're not going to stick around or come back, because we could see late models. So
yeah.
when the stars come to town to grow it, if you're not already niched in the sport, to you it just looks like the 602 looks like the super late model. You don't know no difference.
But used to, like, let's just take I don't know, maybe Salem, for instance, Salem Speedway, we used to go up there on Sundays and watch, and they would, you'd have your regular divisions every week, and the regular late model division up there, the what were they called back then?
The Kendall Indiana late model series.
Those things were badass.
Well,
anyway, you've seen those guys run, and then when, like, one of those guys would get an ARCA ride, you could go back up there and watch them, but then they would be back in their late model the next week,
Yeah.
And you don't see that much anymore.
Yeah, I think the star power, and a lot of this comes from.
I mean, Sportstorm used to have a weekly late model show and had modifieds every week, modified figure 8 cars, and those guys were everybody's heroes,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, and this, there's so many touring series now. I can think of one guy in the late model world off the top of my head that was a local guy that the out of towners, the traveling guys feared, and that was Josh Rice.
Yeah.
When you come to Florence, I mean, just last year, when they were talking about the World 100 picks, I mean, Ricky Thornton Jr. and Bobby Pierce both said Josh Rice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the guys that, they're paying attention to. But we just don't have, what's hurting local racing the most is, it's expensive.
Yeah.
But everything's expensive. It's always going to be expensive. It's always been expensive. Even when it was affordable, it was still expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still spending every day.
One other guy you can add to that list from when I was growing up was Mike Jewell.
Yes, Mike Jewell.
He would run weekly at Brownstown and Scottsburg and wherever, and Taylor County. He owned Taylor County forever.
Yeah.
And but when he'd go to Eldora, he was always one to watch up there. I mean, I don't think he ever got a really good finish up there, but
he always ran good.
But he always ran good, and if he didn't run good, he would put it on the trailer because he's one of those guys that raced on he didn't have a budget like everybody else did.
Yeah. So, but I don't think the national tour stuff being on television hurts. I think it only helps.
Yeah.
Because if you find somebody that enjoys the sport, and let's just say somebody who lives in the South and been to a few dirt tracks, and hey, I go and I like the late models, and then they see sprint cars, so they say, hey, I'm going to get dirt vision because I want to follow along with the Summer Nationals. Then they stumble into sprint cars. Well, then they're going to travel and go check out other stuff. So I don't know. I think there's plenty of combinations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, fan question number 2. Now this one came from Chris in Cleveland, Tennessee. And he said, growing up, he watched NASCAR race day on ESPN, and he was hooked. That's how. And then he started going to Cleveland Speedway and Dixie Speedway and watching the dirt racing. He wants to know, besides us going to the racetrack when we were kids, because we've talked about it, was there anything on TV that got us hooked? I'll start off with saying yes. Thursday Night Thunder.
Yep.
ESPN Thunderheads. Anytime Dave Despain comes on and said, welcome Thunderheads, I was geeked. I was ready to go. That's where my love for sprint car racing came.
We made sure the cars were done on Thursdays before, so we could be inside to watch that.
Because we never in a million years have thought, hey, let's put a TV in the garage. Yeah. Like everybody's got now. Yeah. Like we had to be done to watch Thursday Night Thunder. Yeah. There was nothing better than, and especially the early days of Thursday Night Thunder. The early days of Thursday Night Thunder, they went everywhere USAC went. Yeah. Now, in the mid years, they started funneling USAC, like they started telling USAC where they need to have the race. But still, even then, midgets at IRP, sprint cars at Bloomington, sprint cars at Winchester. I mean, there was so many things, but there was tons of stuff like all the stuff on TNN.
Yeah, TNN. Like I said, every year the Copper Classic. Like I said, I was running asphalt at the time, so that's pretty much what I watched back then. But
how badass was a Copper Classic? You get super late models,
sprint cars,
midgets, and super modifieds.
Yeah, all on one weekend there, or one day.
Yeah,
much.
It was all one day. Yeah,
it was awesome.
Out of Phoenix. But there for like 2 years, the World Outlaws, every race was on TNN.
Yeah, and they had the Slick 50 series. That was another one I watched every single time.
Yeah, out at the old Manzanita Speedway. Yep. Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff. There was one thing though that wind tunnel from Dave Despain. Yeah. Because I've seen his transition from. He does all the racing stuff, but when Dave Despain had wind tunnel on Sunday nights, that was almost a can't miss for me because I was racing so much at the time then that I could get caught up because he would talk about the NASCAR stuff, the IndyCar stuff, but then he would talk about the short track stuff. Yeah, and I could get caught up because I was on the road and I didn't really know what was going on that weekend.
And you didn't have a phone where you could just look it up. Yeah, every time. That's a lot of difference. People don't. Some of the kids listening now don't realize it. We didn't always have. We couldn't just look everything up as soon as it happened.
And another thing too that I wanted to racing newspapers. Yeah. That got me hooked because every time I go to the racetrack, especially like when Louisville Speedway opened, I go to the racetrack, man, they had like 3 different racing newspapers. Yep. So thank you, Andy Vertrees, or whoever made that decision, because I would open it up, get to the back of the schedule, and that's when my ass started traveling. Like, hell, I got all kinds of places to go to on Saturday. So,
those magazines were cool.
Yeah. So, but thank you guys, and like I said, if you want to send some questions, we gladly accept them. They don't have to be controversial every week either. No. They can be something just like this. Yeah. All right, Flash. We're going to talk about our top 5 racetracks. Since everybody's doing their top 25, top fives, we'll talk about our top 5 racetracks. You want to start, or you want me to start?
I can start.
You want to start? Okay.
Yeah. Mine's fairly simple.
Flashlight's one place.
Yeah, no, I like a bunch of I like a lot of places. These are just my top 5.
Okay.
I pretty much like every racetrack.
Yeah.
There's something about every one of them that I like. But probably my top 5 is going to be Fairbury, and then Marshalltown, which you haven't got to go to yet.
No, I haven't been there yet.
You're going to have to go there. And then what else did I have on there? Chili Bowl.
Yeah, the Tulsa Expo Raceway.
Yeah, that place is cool for a track they build every year.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat place.
Yeah, and then I like Florence really good. And I got something else right there, but I can't even read my writing.
I think it was Boone.
Oh yeah, Boone.
Yeah,
definitely.
Boone.
Yeah, well, I wrote it on a napkin, so that's how technical we are here.
Yeah, that's and for the people who want to know why we don't do videos.
Yeah,
that is why.
that's how that would go.
Yeah, that's how that would go.
But but Boone's awesome though. Just the way they work the track there. During the Summer Nationals anyway. I've never been during the regular show, but I'm sure it's just as good.
Yeah, as good as it is at the Summer Nationals, it can't be bad.
It's probably got to be better, to tell you the truth about it, on a regular night.
So Fairbury's your number 1.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. Just first time I went there, I knew that. You know, I blew this though, really, because there's one that goes in between there somewhere, and that's Tri-State.
I got that one covered for you, Flash.
I don't even know how I left Tri-State out. That's crazy.
I got that one covered for you.
Well, that's going in there somewhere, so I got 6. Let's put it that way.
All right. So, my top 5 would be like this. Number 5, Tazewell Speedway in Tazewell, Tennessee, just because of the sheer speed alone.
Yeah.
And the crazy banking.
That place is unreal.
Yeah, Tazewell is one of those places that you walk in, you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
Number 4, in my eyes, is the Bloomington Speedway in Bloomington, Indiana. I mean, not many racetracks we're going to walk around for 4 hours to pick up rocks in 105-degree temperature.
Yeah.
Bloomington Speedway, the red clay at Bloomington, just the setting at Bloomington Speedway. When you walk in, there's not many more beautiful settings. The grass is always manicured. So I'm a big fan of Bloomington Speedway. Number 3, Fairbury. I got Fairbury as number 3.
Yep.
When you go to Fairbury, it's just unbelievable. The community, the cleanliness, the tidiness of everything, how everything's ran. The fans absolutely love racing. It don't have to be just late models. They stick it out for the mods, the street stocks.
That's the cool thing about there.
You know, Fairbury is a racing community. Number 2 on my list is Riverside International Raceway, the Ditch in West Memphis, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that place. It's one of those places that it reminds me, it's going to be so funny saying, but it reminds me of going to the Sportstrome when we were kids.
Right.
Like when you walk in, it's rough and tumble, there's broke bleachers, but you knew something good was going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, now looking back on it, everything good didn't happen. That's just that was our expectation.
Yeah.
But at Riverside, it's just crazy. Every division there race like they do, like Sammy Swindell, Jeff Swindell, Ricky Stenhouse.
Yeah.
The reason why those dudes are hard-nosed racers, because every time you pull on the racetrack, that's the way it goes down at Riverside.
Yeah, that's one of the places you might have to fight your way out of the pits every night.
and they're okay with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and everybody's cool with that.
Well, the sign that when you goes in there, you remember the sign?
Yeah, no crybabies allowed.
No crybabies allowed.
Yeah, no crybabies. You're not even allowed in the damn pits if you want to cry.
Not even in the stands either.
Yeah, they don't even want you here. But West Memphis, Arkansas, and my number 1 racetrack in the country that we've been to is Tri-State Speedway in Hobstadt, Indiana. I seen where Chase Rodman did his top 20 racetracks, and his number 1 was also Tri-State.
Yeah, that's another place that's clean and kept up to. I mean, it's spotless every time you go.
You walk in. If
you go in before they start the races, the wall's spotless. It looks like they just painted it. I mean, every single time you go in there.
And the racing at Tri-State, the shape of the track, the long straightaways, tight corners. You got to run that place different than you run anywhere else.
Yep.
The only knock to my favorite racetrack is I wish they ran more Sunday nights like they used to.
Yeah.
I understand why they don't because of their help and stuff. I get that. But I wish they ran more Sunday nights like they used to.
And ran the modifieds.
Yes, and as I was just getting
Modified, that's a killer modified racetrack.
Yeah, the modified races at Tri-State are incredible. It's a shame they only, same way with the late models. It's a shame they only get to run one time a year.
Yeah.
But non-wing sprint cars at Tri-State Speedway, I don't care if 12 show up.
Yeah.
It's worth the price of admission. It is unbelievable how competitive that place is. So that's
one of the funnest places to watch qualifying at too.
Oh yeah, yeah, because every car's tight. They got to back it in.
Yep.
They're wheeling up, nose facing the wall. I love Tri-State Speedway, and two racetracks that I put asterisks by because they're no longer with us. But East Bay Raceway Park in Tampa, Florida. Was an absolute phenomenal place. I've never seen a bad race there.
Yeah.
And I've seen late models, modified, sprint cars, street stocks. And nothing was ever bad at East Bay. And one track that we both been at, both raced at, that I put on the list that if it was still open, was Barron County Speedway in Glasgow, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved that racetrack. That's where I really fell in love with dirt racing.
Yeah.
My first lap I made around the Barron County Speedway.
That's where my car fell apart dirt racing because I went there with my drone car with the Sportstrom gear on Sportstrom tires, and it was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't so good.
The track was cool. Now, we did get to go there and race one time. I didn't get to race, but my dad ran the modified. Was when me and my dad was taking turns in the modified we had, so he actually got to race there. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't race a whole lot there because he went over the bank and just about flipped and tore the car all pieces. And we actually used Mike Jules' welder and welded the tie rod back together so we could start the feature.
Well, here's the thing. I remember it with no walls when I went down and watched, Duckman, Scotty Earl's dad. I remember, but when they put the wall up there, it built a cushion naturally.
Yeah.
And Jesus, you could just go.
We were there with the modified before the wall because Johnny Wheeler went out.
Yeah.
And end over end, and I went around there to check on him because we was parked at that end of the racetrack going into one down there, and he was out of the car, but he was like kneeling down, looked like he was praying, and he was trying to catch his breath because he knocked the wind out of him.
Well, he was out of the car, but he was out of it in general.
Yeah. But luckily he was okay.
So there's our top 5 racetracks. Get out and check them out. It's pretty fascinating to me. I had a track from Tennessee, Indiana, Illinois, and Arkansas, and Kurt had a track from Kentucky, Iowa, Illinois. So Oklahoma, yeah. So get out and check them out. The places well, I guess most all of them we talked about, except for Riverside and Tazewell. They don't have the greatest facilities, but the racing takes care of that.
One of these days we're going to do a show, and when we do one about us, we're going to talk about our 5 favorite racetracks we've actually raced on.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun too.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah,
but I got one that will surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that was how it went for our top 5 tracks. We encourage you to get out, check them out. See what they're about.
Yeah.
And, just be open-minded when you go to some of these places.
Oh, yeah. You might walk in some of these places and you think, this place is horrible, but don't leave.
Yeah.
Make sure you stay because it could be the best place you've ever been to as far as racing-wise.
And sometimes you'll walk in this place and say, this place is horrible. Yeah. And it was.
Yeah.
That's just part of it.
Sometimes you walk in, it's nice, and it's like, that sucks.
That sucks. Yeah.
But it just happens.
So this weekend's race results we're going to get into real quick. We had 3 events, but I didn't really see a whole lot of the Rumble in Fort Wayne. But I did want to give a shout out to Cap Henry, sprint car racer, a dirt sprint car racer. Yep. Took the 100-lap A-main win from the Poe. The highlights I seen of Saturday night wasn't real good. Got too much rubber laid down.
Oh, yeah.
It rubbered up. Well, because it's on a slick floor.
Yeah.
But they put Coke syrup down, so it was kind of fall leader. But Friday night's preliminary action, Ricky Peterson, they had odd and even features. They ended up with 34 midgets. So Ricky Peterson took the win from 8th place Friday night.
Man.
On the odd feature. And this is a name for you talking about old Thunderheads. Russ Gamester.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the car that Russ Gamester was in, it had to be older than Russ, me, and you put together. It had this goofy looking, like, remember when they first started putting cages on midgets?
Right.
And it kind of like square tubing. This is what it looked like.
Yeah.
So I don't know what gangster was in, unless they just did a throwback type deal.
Yeah, built one just looked like it.
Yeah, I didn't see a backstory of that.
That might have been the same one I was watching the other night with the younger kids was running. They had cages on, but they had some. They were all built different. I mean, it was kind of cool.
Well,
I guess they're built just for that type of racing.
Well, they had 600 wing mini sprints.
Yeah.
And 600 non-wing mini sprints. Actually, I'll be honest with you, the 600 wing mini sprints, because I guess with the wing, they could actually hold on the outside because it's a flat concrete, you know what I mean? But those guys could actually hold on the outside a little bit. So that's one event I've never been to.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's not that far. It's indoor racing. I love indoor racing.
Yeah.
I don't really know why I've never made it to the Rumble in Fort Wayne. So, but there was a lot of people that did though. Flash, 374 entries between all the go-karts and everything.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that didn't make it to Fort Wayne. But one I did see, the Southern Illinois Center, DeQuoin, Illinois, 45 midgets on hand. Heat races were kind of okay. We'll just say okay. It was racing in December.
Yeah, exactly.
But feature race, Team S started third and took the win over Zach Dom and Trey Marshall. But we want to give a hat shake to Kyle Jones out of Texas, went 19th to 4th.
Yeah.
All on the cushion. The track widened out. Team S was like using the inside berm to turn the car. So he was like sliding. Once he got the lead, he like slid himself every lap so they couldn't get a run on the cushion.
Yeah.
But they couldn't turn under him to throw the slider. He did about 25 laps of Team S block the slider line.
Yeah.
And it worked. So
it worked out good, didn't you?
So this week's slider of the week is going to go to Thomas Meserol and at the Junior Knipper 55 for using the slider to block Trey Marshall and Zach Dom. You know Dom's running the bottom anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Marshall is the guy that's always ripping the cushion.
Yep.
So Team S is like, neither one of you assholes are getting me. Okay?
I'm taking the whole track.
So it really was technically a slaughter die.
Yeah.
And they had 28 wing micros, outlaw wing micros. Cameron Chamness took the win over Cole Kirkman. But that's not the cool story of this. Braxton Bush, first time ever in his wing outlaw micro, ran 6th.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But guess what?
His dad
ran 13th.
13th, yeah. I seen that.
So he said beforehand, he was like, "This is the night I'm gonna outrun Dad."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also in that Knipper 55, we had some local talent there from Salem, Indiana.
Yeah.
Ashton Thomas. Or Thompson.
Yeah, Ashton Thompson. No, you screw her name up this time.
Delete that out of there so she don't hunt me down.
No, you screw her name up this time. I screwed up the first time. She straight called me out. Kurt said that, okay? But Ashton was there. I seen Trey Osborne was there. We had a bunch of guys that was there.
Yeah, so that's cool. And she made the feature, and I think she ran 16th, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it was 45, almost 50 midgets.
Yeah, and she had a major group of guys she's running against there too. So I mean, it's a.
And then we're going to move down to the Talladega short track, the Santa Shootout. 128 cars between the 5 divisions, so pretty solid there. Last year they had 105.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the Santa Shootout's going. It's kind of big, kind of building a little bit.
There was going to be 2 nights. They had to cancel one night, didn't they?
Well, that's the go kart.
Oh.
The Friday night portion was the go kart Santa Shootout. So they canceled that and ran the actual, the way where the go kart track is, it holds water.
Oh yeah.
The main track, it kind of holds water, but they. As we've seen, as we've been there, we've seen Talladega. They can kind of just move dirt around and make it work.
Yeah,
it looks like an ice bowl weekend from the pictures.
Yeah,
Dirt Slinger videos or Dirt Dobbler video. I probably should have wrote that down.
Yeah,
Dirt Slinger or no, it's Dirt Dobbler.
Yeah,
no, Down South Productions is what it was.
There we go.
Yeah, Down South.
We'll give everybody a shout out.
Yeah, we're giving all you guys a shout out, but it was Down South Productions. Okay. Yeah. The Dirt Slinger thing came because I was working on a guest for next week.
Oh, okay.
And he's through Dirt Slinger. So that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Down South Productions, he's got the video of the racetrack. and it looked like a muddy ice bow.
Yeah.
When they said it rained all day Thursday, so they need to cancel Friday, it's because it rained all day Thursday.
Yeah.
It looked like an ice bow. But before we get started on the the 604 late model race, we talk about practice, man.
Yeah.
We got to talk about qualifying. So our DO Handyman Remodeling crash of the week comes in 604 late model qualifying. And it wasn't even group qualifying.
No.
There's two cars on the racetrack.
Just two-car qualifying, yeah.
Two cars on the racetrack. All right. The number 16 of Buckner Anderson, he is running one of Sam Seawright's cars. I don't know nothing about Buckner. He may be new to a 4-bar car. I don't know. But what I do know was he was laying down a pretty decent lap, and you said it looked like the bars got caught.
Yeah.
Like the bars got hung up. So we're gonna go with that.
Well, I have to watch it again. I just watched it one time, so I didn't really get to.
Well, no, I was gonna go with that. Besides saying he just got tight and stayed on the throttle. So we're gonna go with that. Let's hope there was an issue.
Yeah.
So when, as Flash said, the bars got hung up, he got a little snug. And young guys, here's the rule of thumb. When you get so snug you're going towards the wall, just let off the throttle and let the car straighten out. Because if you stand on the throttle, there's a good chance of the F97 of Lee Burdett, which is Red Farmer's son-in-law, may come by and you smoke him in the right rear and turn him head first into the wall. Nose first in the middle of the backstretch wall of qualifying. Because that did happen. But yeah, this week's DO Handyman Crash of the Week came in qualifying at Talladega. And Perry Holman, the old announcer that at Talladega, said one time when we were there, if it ain't happened at Talladega, it ain't never going to happen. And God rest his soul, he is 100% right. It's still happening at Talladega. So we had a crash in qualifying. But we had 604 late models, and Super Mario Gresham took the win over Sam Seawright and Josh Atkins. So if it was any doubt, Super Mario's got a starting spot in the Ice Bowl. But I'm pretty sure
he was going to make
unless
it anyway.
Something happened, Super Mario was going to probably be in the Ice Bowl anyway. So, but yeah, good car count. Weather was, I think it was high 40s, low 50s. It was actually warmer here than it was down there, which is kind of crazy to think, being 7 hours south of us.
Well, that's one thing about the Ice Bowl, too. When you go down there, you don't know if you're going to need like 5 coats or if you're going to need a sunscreen. It's crazy.
And sometimes you need sunscreen with 5 shirts because the sun is shining. It looks beautiful, but it's 7 still.
We've been there both ways.
Been there, done that. So, but that's what went on this week. We're going to get off here and, like I said, listen to Jeff Leka out of Buffalo, Illinois, 2-time national champion. Flash, Leka did something that is really cool if you do it one time. He won the 1994 Mod and Late Model Track Championship at Macon Speedway in the same year. But you know what's even cooler? If you do it again in 97. He did it 2 years. 2 times he won the Mod and Late Model Track Championship there.
That's a rough and tumble racetrack too.
Well, we kind of get into that in this interview. So, but this week's Trading Slider Deep Dive, Jeff Leka. It's time for the Trading Sliders Deep Dives presented by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This week's Trading Slider Deep Dive, we have a former 2-time national champion out of Buffalo, Illinois, semi-retired now, but still at the racetrack every weekend, beating up and down the road, Jeff Leka. Thanks for coming on, Jeff.
No problem, thank you.
First and foremost, when most guys retire from racing, they don't go to the racetrack every week and work on race cars. What are you thinking?
Well, I love to do it, and I wish I could keep doing it, but the age and your body kind of gets too old to do the Bobby Pierce stuff, and so I can just come and help. So I like to help Bobby. I've known him ever since he's been a little guy. I used to drive one of Bob's house cars, so I've been around him for a long time. So I enjoy helping him, and still love to do it.
Well, that's what I was going to kind of transition into. You were the original Bob Pierce house car for the modifieds back in the day. Over 350, close to 400 feature wins on the Illinois Bull Ring. For a while, it was either you or Mike Harrison, and then Denny and Danny Schwartz. You guys are beating up on each other every week on the bull rings. First, competition in Central Illinois is beyond tough. And second, how did you find to just master that?
Well, you know, it takes a lot of good help, and I had that back in the day. I had some real good people that was in my corner that made things happen as far as setups and tires, and we all forget to thank them guys, but that's a big part of it. And that's how I got to where I was at, was my help and good sponsors. And then when I started driving, I used to drive Dirtworks house cars, and then Bob and Angie came to me, and I went to drive for them, and then it was me and Denny. Everybody thought we was enemies, and, you know, we're real good friends. Nobody really knew that until I wrecked one night real bad, and Denny was the first guy in my trailer to offer the car to me for the next night, and then people seen that we was friends. But you know, you can't thank your help enough. But that's where it all starts, is with your help in the garage at home, and then the help at the racetrack.
Well, one thing that I was always a big fan of, you were a type, you know, Illinois is known for banging the boards, and and you could do your mixing up on the cushion, but you were more of a Bob Pierce, not a Bobby style. You was more like Dad. You don't mind rolling through the middle, you know, keep the quarter panel on, keep the wheels on. You know, you were more finesse than just, you know, pure grit.
Yeah, and you know, and that came with Bob's cars. When I was in the Dirtworks cars, yeah, you had to bang the cushion and the wall and make them go, and they was good cars. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying nothing bad about them. They was excellent cars. But when I got to Bob's cars, man, you could really just drive through the slick, keep the car straight, and didn't have to beat off the walls and be fast.
Yeah, that was the first thing that stood out to me, was because, you know, Harrison was always doing Harrison stuff. I mean, just and Schwartz was the same way. Schwartz was a, you know, just throw it over his shoulder type of racer. And to me, you set out to me as like the Billy Moyer, Bob Pierce style. You were just, you know, I'm gonna let you guys tear your stuff up, and then I'm gonna drive around you at the end.
Thanks for that. I mean, that's just to be in a Billy Moyer league is something. But I don't know, when you had to work on them yourself, it got to where you didn't want to tear them up because you had to work on them. And a lot of times, if you was straight, you was fast.
Well, you went through a transition when the modifieds, we'll say, start getting out of hand. You were in that transition, okay? You could have probably maybe been part of the reason it started going that way, but that's a whole nother topic.
No.
But where modified racing was to where it is today, as you walk through the pits at all the racetracks, can you believe how far it's come?
Well, I don't know how to say this and be, I mean, I'm always the one to say what I think. It's gotten out of hand, and we've got nobody to get it back in hand. Back in the day when it was the Chad Kinder, the Denny Schwartz, the Jeff Leka, the Mike Harrison, you was a driver. Now, to me, you can buy your speed. And you can see that in some of these race cars. I mean, you know, you've taken the racer out, and it's just who's got the most money can buy the speed is going to be up front, and I don't like that. And I kind of liked it the way it was. You had to work on your race car. You had to be a good driver to make it up, to run up front. In our rules, and that's one reason I stepped out, because we had no rules that we could stick by. We would get a set of rules, and next thing you know, the week later they would be changed. And why? And nobody could explain that to me, and nobody would answer the phone when I'd call. So I said, you know what? It's time for me to give it up. And I did, and so now I just go help out.
Yeah, that's well, yep. the state of modified racing. You know, I work for a modified series, an announced for a touring series, and who else better to talk to than the guy that has spent his whole career in modifieds. Yeah. The state of modified racing right now, competitive-wise, it's more than it's ever been. But the financial side of it, you know, we're at a point, we're at a crossroads here where modified racing is going down a real scary path. And I don't know if the people in charge are oblivious to it, or just, you know, wishing that it won't happen. I don't know exactly how to fix it. So if Jeff Leka had to fix the modified one, we'll just start you and Pete, and that's where you spend your whole time. If we had to fix the modified world, what would you do?
Well, I don't think we got enough time today to talk about that, honestly, because it's so far out of hand, and every year it don't. Here, to me, they forgot about the little guy that wants to go out and race, the guy that goes to the junkyard and gets his race parts, the lower A-frames. Now you just buy all that stuff. So the little guy's, he's out in left field. Now you can take that little guy, you can go to a B mod, which started out to be a decent deal. Now they've changed that now to where that's opened it up more to where we're forgetting about the little guy again. So the way they're going, the way I see it is one of these days you're going to go to the racetrack, which you've already seen if you've been to some of our racetracks in Illinois, you only got 7 to 10 cars. Why is that? It's because the little guy can't come compete with the big guy that's going to win the $600 or the $800 when it takes you $900 to get to the racetrack.
Yeah, well, the pay, that's a whole nother question.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother issue that, you know, but some of the tracks that you ran around locally, you know, like Fairbury does a good job with their weekly pay. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
But everybody doesn't have the flow backing as Fairbury has.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I mean, not everybody's on the same playing field when it comes to that. But the pay versus, you know, the cost versus the get back is, you know, it's wrong in every sport of race, even in the Super Late models.
Yeah, I've said it all along is just like this weekend, we're down at the Dome. Great place. Everything's great. $70,000 to win. What's second place pay? 20,000.
Okay, yeah.
So to me, I've always said this, and don't get me wrong, it's kind of, it bites me in the butt. But don't put everything on the top. Maybe went 50,000, then go 30,000, 20,000. Make it to where the guy that runs 5th or 6th can still make a little money. So being said, that's the same way it is on our local tracks at home. It's 800 or 900 to win, and then we go down to 300.
Yeah.
So when you pay for the pit passes and your fuel to get there, well, there's over half your money already gone.
Well, here's the thing, and everybody that wins goes home happy anyways.
Yep.
So you can pay $800 to win and $1,200 for second, and the guy that won and still be happy.
That's, yeah.
I mean,
you're exactly right.
You know, the guy that won, his night's good anyways. He don't need all the money on top.
No. But I wish they would put a race on and pay, not put it all on top. You would see, to me, because when we raced the UMP deal back in the day, you had to go to the big races. So if it paid $6,000 to win, you had to be there because it was car count. If you had 60 cars, anything over 30 cars, you got a point. Well, now it's the most points you get is 5 points. So if you can go and race against 30 cars and get the same points
at 60,
yeah, I mean, it didn't make good sense. So we had to travel all over to do that. Well, then Sam changed that, and it kind of, to me, I said it hurt the promoters, because why would be me being a promoter want to have a big race, because I'm not going to get the Mike Harrison, the Jeff Leka, or the Chad Kinder to come to race because they don't have to get them points. So then you start seeing all these big races go away because the promoters didn't want to do it.
Well, and honestly, the big races is the first time I seen a Jeff Leka. I don't know if well, I'm sure you remember this because I talked to you before. You said, yeah, that's the place you should be glad it went away. But the Union County Speedway in Liberty, Indiana, the Big Dog 100 back in maybe 01 or 02. I don't know when it was.
You know, and we about left that racetrack because we got there and it rained, and the guy and a couple of my guys like, let's go to Eldor. It ain't that far away. So another guy said, we're here, let's stay and race. Well, we stayed and we led every lap. And we had no brakes. I got out, my feet in the soaking wet. They're like, what's wrong? I said, my brakes are gone. And I don't know, somebody's looking out for us, because every time I get the lap traffic, a yellow would come out. And I'm like, I can't believe it. But it rubbered up, and it was one lane, and we won. And then, yeah, that was a good weekend.
That was the first time that I said that I was like, and what stood out to me was, you know, that was back in the day when everybody was just starting to get vinyl wraps.
Yep.
Your stuff was flashy. You had your Dayglow yellow numbers with your chrome. You know, you was a little flashy, a little more flashy than everybody else. Always took care of your stuff.
Yep.
But, and then I started paying more attention in Central Indiana and Central Illinois. I was like, man, we got some guys up here that get after it. So, you know, that was fun.
We have a lot of good racers, and don't get me wrong, they're all over. I think Illinois shows more. But they're all over. You got good race car drivers everywhere, and with my deal, my cars did look good because my guy that helped me on the race car did the wraps, and man, you know, we wanted to make them look nice because that was good for sponsors. Exactly. If you can't run up front, you got to look good. So at that time, we was doing both, and then we started as age went on, time went on, you start slowing down, and that's why I tell Bobby all the time, enjoy it, because it will come to an end.
And sooner than you know.
Yeah, but he's got a long way to go. He's, what, 28, so he's got a long way to go.
Well, let me ask you this. So you're on the road, and you're helping Bobby, and, he's got great mentors, you, his dad. When you sit back and you're, it's hard to, and Pat Sullivan told me this, and I didn't really know what he was talking about at the time, but he said it's hard to pay attention to greatness when it's happened and you're a part of it. When you see what this kid does, it's unbelievable to be a part of it. Hanging out with him on the road, and I mean, the kid, when it's over and done with, it's gonna go down. I don't know, people might shit on me for saying this, but he's gonna go down as the best dirt late model driver in the history of the sport.
I really believe that, and a lot of people can be haters or whatever, but at the end of the day I've known Bobby forever, and one thing I can say about that kid is he does take time with the little kids, the fans. I really like that, and he is a good guy at the end of the day, and people need to look at that. I mean, he's not a bad kid at all.
No, it's
I'm glad to be a part of it. I thank him for letting me be a part of it. But yeah, being around Bob and Bobby, it is a lot of fun.
That's it, because there's a lot of times when as a former racer myself, when you quit racing, not that you get jaded, but some guys, like my dad, when he quit, he never even went to the racetrack, so I made him go to the racetrack. When he was done, he was done. Yep. When I quit, I decided I was going to get involved by dragging my equipment all over the country and talk to people about it, and announce races. So everybody, when you, I don't want to say enjoy retirement, but when you decide, hey, I'm done, everybody goes about it different. And I think it's cool that you just still want to be a part of it, and it's such a good relationship, because when I tell kids this all the time, when racing is done, you've got two things. You've got memories and some trophies, because the money's gone.
Yep.
And, a lot of times friendships are gone, relationships are gone. So enjoy the relationships that you make in this sport.
And that's so true. And we've met so many good people doing this, and that's what's nice. When I come to the race, I still see them. And as far as the trophies, I built a trophy room in my house just to put the trophies in. It is neat to walk in. I got 4 great granddaughters, and to see them, to go in my trophy room and look at them and talk about it is neat. The 2 older ones, they was there to see a lot of the races, but the 2 younger ones, they wasn't.
Yeah.
So I would like to still, and I didn't this year because I was with Bobby quite a bit, but I've been driving a guy's street stock every now and then, and so maybe next year I'll do that again for my youngest granddaughter can see me race, and hopefully I can run up front.
Well, that's what it's almost like like I had a show sheet and you've seen it. I was gonna ask you about the street stock, because I seen last year you made like 5 or 6 starts in the street stock.
Yeah.
Do you still have a good time, or do you get aggravated because you're like,
No.
because it's hard knocking the rust off. My little brother still races, and once a year I'll just go out and hot lap his car and have a good time. But when I get done, I'm like, damn, I hurt.
Well, that's one reason I quit, because I got arthritis in my neck and my shoulder so bad, and so after I race, the next few days I'm crabby and I hurt so bad. But Bobby, I drove his car one night at Spoon River. They told me, get in there and qualify, and I did, and I qualified pretty good, and first time being in a late model forever, because I used to drive one back in the 90s. And then I was running the feature, and I pulled in because Bob told me to keep running, but I had Bobby's spare tires. I said, if he needs a tire, I got it on my car. So I pulled in and took it off, and he goes on to win, but it was just fun. And the street stock, to me, I can't see nothing up real close, so with the street stock, everything's a little slower, and I can see pretty good, and I have fun with that.
Well, that's good. That's because we all still got the itch. Everyone, it don't matter what it is. If you're a competitor, you're a competitor.
Yep.
I mean, as like earlier, I come by and you were underneath the car, and I was like, well, I'll just get him later, because I know how it is once you get in that mode, and especially being a little bit older. You're a little older than me, so I know how it is crawling around on your knees. You don't want somebody to come interrupt you, So, but yeah, I think it's pretty neat that you're still involved in the sport. And one thing that I enjoy is, watching kids like Bobby Pierce, and I even say kids like Ricky Thornton Jr. You got to have rivalries. You got to have dirt late model racing is we're in a part of the sport right now that it's more popular than ever. That's we're gonna have 40,000 people here tonight.
Yeah.
Problem is, 38,000 of them might be drunk and not remember what happened.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have.
But they have a good time down here, and this is. I've raced it. The best I did was I think it was the first year they had it. I got the third and was getting ready to pass for the lead, and I caught a wreck coming off 4 and about turned over, and I ended up third. So that was good, and I came back a couple other times, but. Then Bob's like, Leka, just leave your stuff home, come help us. So I've been doing that, and I try to help out a couple guys back home a little bit with the racing, and I like to go watch them race, but when I'm running down the road with Bobby, it's hard to go on a Saturday night to a little local track at home. And so I just keep trying to help as much as I can.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. Has there ever been like, hey, I want to do like a driver coach and have like a driver program, because you still enjoy working on the race cars? Have you thought of anything like that? Or I know you got your tree service, you got your business, and you work countless hours. I mean, I get that, but has there ever been? Because you're a guy that I see you with Bobby, and I see how you mentor him. You can help a lot of kids in the central Illinois area, that's for sure.
And I would, but like right now I'm helping Jeremy Nichols and his boy Cade, and they're a couple good guys, but I ain't got the time that I would like to do with some other guys, because with Bobby, I like to go help Bobby, and so that being said, then that would be bad for me to try starting something at home and I couldn't finish.
I get that. You mentioned great grandkids. Any of them have any, you're going to be toting some go-karts around soon or anything?
No, I got 4 granddaughters. I got no grandson. I've been trying to, I said I'll adopt somebody. Because I still got a lot of my racing stuff, and I thought, well, I'd pass down to my grandson, which I guess I'm not going to get a grandson, but that's okay, because I'll tell you, I love my granddaughters, and I'll support them any way they want to go, and if they want to race, that'd be great, but I don't see that happening, so that's okay.
So, is it possible that the great modified racer Jeff Leka is going to be a softball coach here soon? Are you going to do some t-ball stuff?
I don't know. I go to some cheerleading stuff.
Oh, so you're going to be the base, huh? You're going to be hey, don't worry, Papa's got us.
Yep, that's it. Yep, they're my girls, I can tell you, and if I never get a grandson, it is what it is. I love my granddaughters. Well,
that's good. I know before I get off, I always ask everybody, you want to thank your sponsors. Obviously, I mean, you had big supporters back in the day. With a guy that's not racing anymore, you can't actually thank your sponsors now. But who helped make this happen all those years? And,
well, I got to think, like I said, I mentioned before, my guys. That being said, like my dad, and then I had like Dave Rhodes that passed away, John Chase that passed away, Chris Filer and Bill Mayberry, and my boys Jeffrey and Justin. They both raced for a while, and then my oldest boy Jeffrey got married and had a baby and changed his life. And then my youngest boy, which I thought he would have been the Bobby Pierce, he decided that we bought a farm, he wanted to live there, and so everything changed. But
he didn't like all that work. Huh?
No, but I think I was probably too hard on him, because I knew you had to work day and night to run up front, and they had to work on their own stuff, and they did, and they ran good, and I'm glad that I got to see them race. But yeah, and my biggest thing is my guys. I just thank them, because without them it wouldn't have happened.
No, that's
and my wife. Can't forget my wife.
We always.
My daughter too. I can't forget my daughter.
Yeah. So if he forgot you, he's sorry. Yeah. I kind of rushed him through this because lunch is here on the table, and we don't like missing any meals. But we appreciate you coming on. And like I said, the Buffalo, Illinois. Can we say legend?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Well, I mean, hell, it's our show. We'll say whatever the hell we want. So
I sure thank you very much.
But yeah, thank you for coming on, hanging out with us, and bullshitting about racing.
Yep. Well, I appreciate it.
Former UP national champion out of Buffalo, Illinois, Jeff Leka.
Thank you.
There you go, Flash. That was Jeff Leka, modified as I asked him if I could call him a legend.
Yeah.
And he said he's not that damn old, but sure. So
go ahead.
I said, Jeff, you raced for 40 years.
Yeah.
That qualifies as a legend.
That qualifies as a legend.
But yeah, UP former UMP Modified National Champion out of Buffalo, Illinois, Jeff Leka. The sport of modified racing has changed. I told Leka it was because of him and Mike Harrison's reason why the sport changed.
Right.
Because they were the ones that started building these nice cars and just put down the ass kickings on everybody.
Yeah.
But it was a good time catching up with Jeff Leka. And what's really fascinating is most guys, when they quit racing, not many guys, Flash, quit like we quit.
Right.
Quit and just go to the racetrack all the time.
Yeah.
Most people quit
And they don't
even go.
They don't even go back no more.
Yeah, because they're like, I want to do this and I either financially can't or physically can't. So I just don't want to go because when I go in, I get sad.
Yeah.
And I asked Leka, I said, because he said granddaughters. So he has no grandson. So he's been wanting to get a grandson into racing.
Right.
But he has no grandsons. So I said, well, can't the granddaughters race? And he's like, well, I don't think their moms and them really kind of want that. So, but real cool thing though, he said he gets so much joy out of helping Bobby Pierce.
Yeah.
Because Bobby is like a grandkid. Because he was the driver for the Bob Pierce house cars. And Bobby was a little kid when they were building those modifieds. So you can still find Jeff Leka beating up and down the road every weekend, going to the racetrack, doing the racetrack thing. So that's pretty cool that he's still involved in the sport. And involved in the sport in a major way, with the nation's top late model racer in the country. So that was pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
Before we get to upcoming events, we're going to do our racetrack spotlight, and we're going to go a different route this week. I don't know if you've seen this, Flash, but this week's racetrack spotlight, being brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering, is the Belclair Speedway.
Yeah.
The old Bell Vegas. So we've been kind of doing the updates throughout the months.
Right.
And when they shut Belclair down, they said in 2025 it was going to be open. Well, 2025 is come and gone. But starting in middle of last year, they tore everything down. There was new video footage. I've seen it, I believe, on Nick Hoffman's Twitter page. The racetrack is there.
Oh yeah.
They still got to do this. Put the walls up, but they've got all the dirt moved, and Bell Vegas is back to life,
Coming
baby.
back.
Belclair Speedway, dirt moved with a new track. It was a 5th mile, now it's a 1/4 mile.
Yeah.
It looks like to me, they built another Highland or Brownstown Bull Ring, and just
Right.
by the shape.
Yeah.
It's a drone footage, so it's kind of hard to tell the banking.
Right.
And once they get the walls and stuff up, I'm
might
sure the
be-
banking's going to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Belclair Speedway, and I read a little article on it. The $5 million grant. They've been doing this without the grant. The $5 million grant is coming June 3rd or something.
Yeah.
So they plan on having this bad boy done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
That'd be nice.
there may be a fall racing event at Old Bell Vegas.
That'd be cool.
So there may be a trip that we're going to have to make.
Yep.
To the Rebirth.
I only got to make it to the open one time, but it was worth it just
Yeah.
to go to that one. That was one of the coolest racetracks I've been to. Like you said, you walk in one of the places that looks kind of run down, but
Yeah.
man, the racing was awesome.
Yeah,
there.
Belclair was just
I used to
badass.
watch it on YouTube all the time,
Yeah.
but I only got to go there one time for a hill tour race.
Yeah, I got to go like 3 times. Went to the Hell Tour once. Went to a Powri National Midget race there.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Oh, I bet.
And went back for a 410 wing sprint car race.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't as good as I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be. Because it was just it was so small. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But like I said, the Hell Tour event was awesome.
That place reminded me kind of, when I was watching the Gateway this year, kind of reminded me there because, like, they rolled out for the feature, and Shannon Babb took the whole back right top piece of deck off and the right rear quarter panel off the car.
Yeah.
Didn't have it on there.
Yeah, Bab was. That's why Bab used to roll out for those summer national
Yeah.
races there.
That was pretty awesome, I thought.
One of the few 100-lap summer national races there at Bell Vegas. But yeah, so this week's racetrack spotlight. Hopefully, we get to make a trip by the time by the end of the year. Hopefully, it stays ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
But I think they're waiting for the grant to put the walls up, do the concrete work, and the building structures.
Right.
But they're shooting for having an October event there. So just to get the dirt moved around and let it settle for the winter. So
Right, yeah.
So looking forward to that. We'll keep everybody up to date on that and see how things go. So this week's upcoming events, Flash. unless you want to go to a bunch of go-kart races,
Yeah.
there's not really anything going on in the United States.
Yep. But
there's definitely a but. Starts off Friday at Perth Motorsplex in Western Australia. They have the sprint cars, the speed cars, those are the midgets.
Right.
And guess what the support division is that night? Super late models.
Oh, yeah.
At Perth Motorplex Friday night, available on Clay Review. They take Saturday off. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You guys don't have to get Clay Review. You can flip it right on Flow.
yeah.
And the high limit Australia swing, I guess they call it.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson, Buddy Kofoid, Rico, a bunch of people from the United States going over and run the $100,000 to win.
Yeah. That was a
Classic.
good race last year.
Yeah, it was a really good race last year at Perth. But yeah, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Oh no, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at Perth. The high limit sprint cars are on Flow, so you've got stuff to do this week.
Yeah.
and that leads up right into Christmas. So
Yep.
So you got some pretty neat stuff. Besides that, there's not really a whole lot going on this week. One of the few,
You might have to watch sprint cars this week.
yeah, one of the few things. Oh, I'm glad you said that. If you guys have Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
there are 3 channels on there on Amazon Prime that comes free with, you don't even need to upgrade, just Amazon Video. Flow Racing 24/7 is on there now, free of charge.
Yeah.
So they're playing races 24 hours a day.
I bet that's what I was watching yesterday. Where I was telling you, no, because it said CBS on it.
No, CBS still does. They got
Yeah.
their CBS Sports still does it.
Yeah.
But Flow 24/7 is on there, and Speed Sport 1 has a 24-hour race channel. And on Speed Sport 1, Flash, I've been watching a lot of Wasota modified stuff, but they got Wasota modifieds, they got all the IMCA stuff, all the Sprint Car Challenge Tour stuff from out west. The World Championship Figure 8 race was on last week from 3-hour. The Midget All-Star Special that went on at Raceway Park was on last week. So Speed Sport 1 has 24 hours. And sometimes it reminds you, talking about TNN,
Yeah.
it reminds me of that because they have everything. Like last night they had tractor pulls and demo derbies when I turned it on. So they got that on. And if you're a NASCAR guy, first off, I'm sorry. But second off, if you're a NASCAR guy, they've got NASCAR 360 on there. So they're just doing old NASCAR races 24 hours a day. And it's pretty cool because the other night I turned it on and it was the 1985 Bristol 500.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's almost like watching our VCR tapes. It's all fuzzy and stuff like that. So, but yeah, you can check that stuff out. Those are 3 channels that are, like I said, that are free, that you can keep up with, and you do like me. Like yesterday we had Christmas stuff, and if you've seen our Christmas pictures, there was Dirt Vision on in the background because we just watch races year around here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff that we missed throughout the year that we get caught up on. So you got anything else, Flash?
No, I think that's good. Oh, I do want to say one thing, and this is kind of off racing subject, but just actually when I was eating breakfast at the Waffle House just a minute ago, I was thinking when my cousin Travis Coomer just got inducted in the Hall of Fame for truck pulling in Kentucky, so that was pretty cool.
Well,
he's been doing it for 45 years, so he's a big innovator in a lot of that stuff, So
yeah. The KT is the Kentucky Truck Pulling Association.
Yeah, KTTP.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a little insight. Look, here we go. We just tie stuff in together, which is presented, or not presented, a sponsor by Kentucky Clutch and Performance.
Right. It's kind of tie stuff in a little bit.
Tie stuff in a little bit. Our deep dive presenting sponsor kind of, sponsors that series a little bit. So
that's pretty cool.
Involved in all motorsports.
Yeah.
But congratulations. We say this every week, and we truly mean it. Word of mouth is the best form of advertisement, and we appreciate everybody telling people about us. But please tell people about us. Like, share, comment, subscribe, that whole thing. Especially subscribe. We just need, I don't want to give a specific number, but guys, just subscribe.
Yeah. Please.
Just listen. Even if you don't watch us on YouTube, just go subscribe on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify, just like you always do.
Yeah.
it will help out tremendously.
Yeah. Won't take me just a second.
Yeah, just click the button. And like I said, I don't send all those crazy spam email stuff. I don't do none of that.
Yeah.
Hell, we don't even. Actually, I did post it on my story 3 times this week.
Yeah.
So I'm getting better. I'm getting better. All right, but
Yep.
anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Until next. Oh, one thing. Next week, Flash and I are going to talk about an upcoming trip that we're going to go on. That just kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that and a whole bunch of craziness. But with that being said, that following Sunday/Monday podcast.
Yeah.
It may be on the road, kind of jumbled. We don't really know how it's going to be.
It might be in the car on the way home.
Yes, so it's something we don't really understand. We don't know how we're going to pull it off yet, but we will have something out that week.
Yeah.
But we'll get more into the details on that next week. Until next time, we'll be trading sliders.